The CFO of the Trump Organization, Allen Weisselberg, surrendering to authorities earlier this morning. And we just got word from his attorney, Tom Winter, back outside the courthouse with us. Also with us, former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance. Tom, what'd you learn?
Right. So we've recently just got a statement from Mary Mulligan, who's the attorney for Allen Weisselberg, who says, quote, Mr. Weisselberg intends to plead not guilty and he will fight these charges in court. A short statement and a very unsurprising one at that. I mean, at this point, if he was going to cooperate prior to today, we wouldn't be here today. And he wouldn't be surrendering in this way and in this manner. So a completely expected, Steph, and it's typical of anybody that is charged initially. You want to plead not guilty. You don't want to change your plea in court, not get the benefits of any sort of cooperation agreement. It certainly doesn't preclude him from changing his mind later. He may also just decide, you know what, I didn't do the things that are in this indictment, and I am going to fight it in court, and I'm innocent. So completely expected statement from the attorney for Allen Weisselberg, the CFO, who again surrendered at approximately 6:20 this morning. So that's what we have from him at this point. The Trump Organization already out last week when we spoke with them, calling the charges, quote, completely ridiculous. So we know exactly where they stand with it. A couple of people have emailed me or sent tweets to me, Steph, asking whether or not any of the Trumps will be in court today because their company, the Trump Organization, is, of course, being indicted. The answer to that is no. It's just going to be attorneys for the Trump Organization that will be in court. And we'll expect at some point thereafter for the court paperwork to be filed online. And we'll get some additional details again as far as what are some of the patterns of behavior around these charges. I think that's one last important point from me, Steph. In New York State and in many states, and certainly in the federal system as well, prosecutors today can file these charges within the statute of limitations, in some instances 2 years, in some instances 5 years, and can bring forward charges. But then there's a way that they can introduce behavior that occurred outside of the statute of limitations, where they can discuss a pattern in practice of conduct that they say is that they could say is involved with everything that they've actually charged here today. So I think that's something that we'll have to look out for as well, Steph.
Joyce, make it as basic as you can and take us to the punchline. You are invited over to all of our houses for dinner tonight because we're all going to be talking about it. What does all this mean?
We're waiting to see the indictment, Steph. We need to see how much leverage prosecutors in Manhattan are able to muster against Weisselberg. He has not pled guilty up to this point or agreed to cooperate with them. That means he's waiting to see what they have to show him today. It may be that he's going to maintain that he's innocent and able to prove it. Maybe he's willing to take whatever time is involved in this case in order to stay on Trump's side of things. Or perhaps he'll be one of those defendants who slowly works towards the process of cooperation after he sees the indictment and faces the reality of charges. That's all up in the air right now until we see the charging document, the indictment itself.